My weekly reflection, number one. What went well? What excited or generates you? What went well? What has been going well? What's been exciting me is that my students, they want to learn, and most of them are eager to participate. They like collaborating with each other. I even call them up to do examples on the board. They're comfortable. They come up and they do examples. I know some are still a little bit shy yet, but majority of the time they come up. So I'm that really excite me, and that's been going well. However, what's not going well, what's frustrating me, is that a lot of my students, although they like working with each other and they're eager, it frustrates me because I have to constantly time you can't turn around and work with the person in the back of you because they all have to be face forward. So we gotta follow procedures. So they want to turn back, or if they have a question, they'll ask, "Okay, how you do this?" And like, it's frustrating me because I have to stop students from collaborating with each other because of COVID. What's also frustrating me is a lot of my students struggle with solving multi-step equations. Most of them were doing one-step and two-step equations. And then a lot of them are just having difficulties quickly adding and subtracting. Just like a lot of them, they cannot see like 5 plus 7 is 12. So, and 4 plus 7 is 11. A lot of them just cannot get that thinking. They're still using their fingers. They're still kind of using their head, taking time. So that's also dividing and multiplying. They just like, I will like 12 times 12, or even like 2 times 2, and then they're thinking. So that's what's frustrating me. And then my fourth period is a little bit more active than my other periods. They tend to need a lot of reminders and redirections. It kind of drains me sometimes. They're not really bad. They just need a lot of reminders. Just following COVID procedures. Remaining in your seat. You cannot turn back and, get help. You got to face forward. Okay, so what changes do you plan to make next time you adjust this content or circumstances? So I think I'm just going to have them just start practicing adding and subtracting integers quickly. So like when they come in, I'll probably going to do like, what's -5 plus 5? You know what I mean? As they enter and they have to answer it, entering in class, and just offer maybe extra practice multiplication and division sheets, where they can start, if they're done early with their work, or instead of waiting for me, they can just start working on their worksheets. What questions do you have? What would your specific suggesting and ideas or challenge face? The questions I have, or what I need help with, what can I do to avoid constant reminders and redirections? Like for my fourth period, I haven't made calls home yet, and I want to try to handle things before calling home. So like, I've actually changed sheets. I give them monster reminder. I've raised my voice. I use low voice. I try to change it out. So I'm like, what else is there to do? Like I said, they're not really bad, but you just need a lot of reminders and redirections. Especially there's some days they can be really good, and there's some days just like, or go from 0 to 10 or 100. But yeah. And then how do you navigate potential ethical issues? So pretty much I really don't have any ethical issues. I know at the beginning of the school year, a lot of my kids are like fighting, but not in a classroom. It's just more outside. So like my kids are getting suspended, and that's also another thing frustrates me, because they're missing, like the beginning of the school year, they're missing like a week, or maybe like a couple days into the school year. When we start to go over content, they're missing a week, or like 2 weeks sometimes, because they're suspended for 2 weeks. So I have to reteach them, because it wasn't here. But I think that's one of the ethical issues. Just a lot of my kids are getting into fights. Like I said, not in the classroom. They're doing it like at recess, before school. So I had quite a few people already suspended at the beginning of the year because our campus had a lot of fights at the beginning of the year, just as opening. So I guess these students need help just kind of socializing again. But I did, let's see. On our assigned weekly focus topic, what did you observe, learn? Focus one uplifting interaction with a student and one challenging interaction. Okay, so it's with the same student. A female student in my 4th-period class loves learning and loves collaborating with other students. I know, like, in the beginning, like, I tell all my students they're smart because they're all smart. So this one, because I set that tone, she just loved to learn. She was like, oh, miss, I'm not smart. I was like, you are smart. And so now she just loves collaborating. She loves working. But she has difficulties with social interacting with other students. So she kind of worked independently. She always got to rely on her peers. So it's not like relying on her peers for answers, just relying on her peers for support. Like, for comfort and support and reassurance. And then sometimes to like double check her work, like sometimes she'll just go too fast and then she'll make a mistake, but she needs to slow down. But a lot of times, like I said, she's not copying the people's work, and she'll talk her problems out and just reassuring that her answer is correct or she did the correct steps. But she has a hard time working independently. She relies really a lot on her peers. And if her partner is not there because it's sitting on the same table, like, she feels lost. And then she comes and see me. But if her partner's there, then she's fine. She'll sit at her desk. But when her partner's there, then she starts to come see me for reassurance. But yeah, so I know she struggled with social emotional development. So just basically learning when to, because right now that their peers is very important. So I can see that her peers is very important. She gotta not only talk story, just having that peer support. I know she relies that on heavily. Yeah, and that's it for this week.